Welcome back to Good Day Las Vegas. It is Wednesday, and it is time to talk to Metro Sheriff Joe Lombardo once again for our Morning Cup of Joe segment. Sheriff, good to see you once again.
Morning, John.
All right.
Cup of Joe.
Cup of Joe, got to have it always. Let's talk about an issue that was right essentially before the pandemic really set in here to Southern Nevada. The city of Las Vegas is a couple of homelessness ordinances. What is going on with that? It seemed like the pandemic kind of had an effect on how that was enforced. What citations, what kind of engagement has Metro been involved in when it comes to trying to clean up parts of downtown?
So the intent of the ordinance was to address the business community and the residential community to prevent people from setting up camp, per se, within the sidewalk areas, obstructing business practices. The majority of that population is service averse. In other words, they don't want help. They chose, unfortunately, sometimes they choose that lifestyle, or substance abuse or mental health is causing them to have that lifestyle, and they may not even understand the service availability. So we offer that to them. If they accept services, they move on to that service. We provide that service to them. If they say no, take me to jail. In lieu of jail, we issue a citation. But happily to say, the ordinance seems to be working, because very few, if any, citations that I'm aware of have been issued, and we've had the majority of individuals accept services.
Okay, Sheriff, it's been a little while since the summer when we saw the Black Lives Matter protests across Las Vegas. We've talked about this before, the issue that you've discussed about whether it's reform or adjustments that can be made on a legislative level to Metro Police, to in dealing with various parts of the community. Where do things stand right now? We have the legislative session coming up early next year. Any movement in that regard, any conversations?
Some of these issues require extensive conversation that you can't make in a couple days. You have to talk about both sides of the fence, and you have to talk about the unintended consequences. So some of those are, the duty to intervene, de-escalation, the duty to render aid, the ability to limit the chokehold or completely outlaw it or forbid it, depending on what legislative or what state decision-making process is. Now, when you come into the regular session here in February, I'm sure the conversation is going to continue when we talk about reform and patterns and practice and ability to audit what the police officer does on a daily basis, and the mandate of body-worn cameras and all those. So those discussions are ongoing. I am having those with the Attorney General and certain legislators. So it's yet to be seen what they're going to want to push forward and have discussions about.
All right, well, Sheriff, we're just about out of time. We do thank you very much for joining us here on Good Day Las Vegas once again. If you at home have a question for Sheriff Lombardo, you can submit it at 8newsnow.com. Just go ahead and find out if your question is answered every Wednesday.